What's up YouTube, it's Yugi Penguin. Today I have a very special video for you. As you all know, Lair of Darkness came out a few days ago, which all involves dark monsters and all tribute summon monsters, no extra deck. So I thought to myself, I'm a bit of an inventor. I like to go beyond and above, or above and beyond shall I say, and I've created Monarch Lair of Darkness deck. This is something very different. It's something fun for everyone. I don't think everyone will actually like this deck idea, but you know what, you can actually make changes, and I've got a little side deck for you at the end of the video. If you do like this video, please give it a thumbs up. 10 likes will tell me that you want to see the budget deck profile for the Lair of Darkness that I will be bringing to you in the next few days. Let's get into this video and I'll show you why I have chosen these cards, the combos that you can play with them, and probably the reason why I am so against the meta decks these days, which is why I only play anti-meta with the Monarchs. So we're going to start this video. Hopefully the deck doesn't actually brick. I haven't actually tested it out yet, but we're going to start this deck out with Aether the Heavenly Monarch, which is a fantastic card, one of the best Monarchs in the whole game. You can only use one Aether. You know what these cards do by now, guys. I'm just going to adjust the camera for you there. You know what this card does by now. It's probably one of the only cards in the game that on your opponent's turn you can actually use a quick effect and tribute summon this card, and that really does throw your opponent off, which leads me into the next two cards. I only played two Erebus the Underworld Monarchs. Erebus is a fantastic card because when you do tribute summon for it, you can send two Monarch spells or trap the cards. All the time I always say to you guys, Pantheism or basically the Prime Monarch, you throw either of those two cards on into the graveyard and you can actually combo off from there, and you can shuffle one card from your opponent's hand randomly or from the field back into the deck, and that stops all their combo plays. Right now this card has become common in the new Lair of Darkness, but I'm actually playing two of my ultra rare Caius the Mega Monarchs, one of the best cards in my opinion for any kind of deck ever, just purely because of this banishing effect. So when you do bring him out with a tribute summon, you can target one card on the field and banish it. Fantastic if you're playing cards like True Dracos, or if you're playing against a Dark Magician deck, because if you do play a Dark Magician deck and they have Dark Magician on the field and it is a Dark Monster, you actually banish all cards from the extra deck hand, the graveyard, main deck, from basically the game. This is the next card I really wanted to try out playing. I'm not too sure. This is more of a side deck option to you guys. You don't have to play it, but I'm playing Zaborg the Mega Monarch purely because of the tribute summon effect, and you can, if it's a light monster, it's basically the opposite to Caius, except you can just do a lot of damage and get rid of cards from your opponent's extra deck. Probably won't often play it, but it is good if you have Domain of the True Monarchs on the field, because actually bring him a 2800 beat stick out, including the attack power that you get, the 800 attack extra for a 3600 beta. It's quite tough to defeat still. Sorry, I just knocked the camera. So the newest card that I want to add to this deck, it looks fantastic. It is Darkest Diablos, the Lord of the Lair. If you guys do not know what this card does, this will go really well with the deck. I think the synergy, I actually haven't really tested out, like I said, but it's a dark monster. It includes tributes. It cannot be kaiju'd, but if a dark monster you control is tributed, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. So I probably would run a Foolish Burial in the deck, or try and mail it to the graveyard, however you can. Or if not, you can actually just bring it out from your hand. You can tribute one dark monster and your opponent places one card from their hand on either the top or the bottom of their deck. I think that's very good, unless you've actually got the, like, you know, you could actually play Droll and Lockbird along with this, and it can just absolutely confuse your opponent to the brink of where they just start crying. Next card I want to play, I only play the one Vanities thing now. I get a lot of suggestions on my other Monarch videos, which are doing so well. Please go and have a look on the channel. But I get a lot of suggestions from this deck to always run a Majesty's Fiend also, but I have a really big problem with playing Majesty's Fiend, so I don't tend to play it, even though it stops monster effects, but that could also stop my monster effects in turn. So I only play the Vanity's Fiend, and your Vanity's Fiend could actually just stop Darkest Diablos coming out, but you might not have that on the field at the same time. They're just options to weigh in. Best cards in your deck, obviously, Edia the Heavenly Squire. Obviously, when you normal summon Edia, you can actually special summon one Eidos from your main deck, and then Eidos will allow, with the effect, to actually bring out another summon or tribute summon card. So it is actually a fantastic card to combo off with, and once Eidos is sent to the graveyard, you can actually banish him, and if Edia is in your graveyard you can actually special summon Eddie out on your turn and then bring out another Eidos. When Eddie is sent to the graveyard, if you have a banished Monarch spell or trap card, so you could combo off with Pantheism. So if Pantheism's effect in the graveyard has already been used, as you all know, you can use Eddie as effect and bring Pantheism straight back to your hand and it'll combo off for your next turn, should you get a next turn. With the current meta these days, there is some horrible decks out there which I really wish I did not play this deck against, but I like to go to my locals with this deck because people still actually call me a legend for playing Monarchs. There's not many people out there that play Monarchs, so I'm happy to play Monarchs, and with the new Lair of Darkness it can only go up from here. It's really nice support at least. So there's Eidos in triple also. If I have no monsters on the field, I'm going to play Kaiser Volst Raider, because if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if this card destroys an opponent's monster or is destroyed by battle, that monster will lose 500 attack and you will gain 500 attack. The latest two cards that I will be putting in my deck from now on, purely because of this card and the new structure deck being out, I'm playing one Phantom of Chaos and to combo it off with a Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere mode. Now, I will always play Foolish Burial with this card. If this card is in my hand, then I've completely bricked and I'm screwed pretty much. But Phantom of Chaos works really well because if this card is in my graveyard, it's a free 4000 beat stick. You could actually put Ring Dragon of Ra in if you wanted, but I'm very happy to have Ring Dragon of Ra Sphere mode in. A few of you guys have actually suggested this on my earlier videos, sorry about that. So I'm actually starting to play Ring Dragon of Ra Sphere mode, and it actually won me a duel the other day with Phantom of Chaos because of the 4000 attack, because Phantom of Chaos actually copies everything from the card that you banish. So you will banish Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere mode and you will bring out Phantom of Chaos with a 4000 attack. Last but not least, for the monsters, I play 2 Ghost Ogre Snow Rabbit. I will run into the side deck for you what I'm playing on the side in case I actually want to make any changes to this deck. Like I said, Zabul the Mega Monarch, don't really care for him, so I've actually got other options to weigh in. Now for your spell lineup, again, you have Lair of Darkness. You may use that as a field spell and you have new monsters to actually bring the Lair of Darkness out. You don't even need terraforming, but I'm still running Domain of the True Monarchs because while you have no cards in your extra deck and you're the only player that controls a tribute summon monster, your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. It's very, very vital and important these days that your opponent does not use their extra deck, especially with Vanity's Fiend. I've said it on my last Monarch video, it's complete deck lockdown. Vanity's Fiend comboing off with Domain of the True Monarchs is a deck lockdown. It stops special summons and it stops the extra deck. Even if you have the Monarchs Erupt on the field at the same time, it's a very, very good trap card to use. So I do highly recommend that. Or I do recommend Lair of Darkness, but Lair of Darkness as a field spell in a Monarch deck also, they're all dark monsters anyway, so you are not really getting that, but it does work as a Stormforth, so it is a very good card if you actually just want to, run 1 Domain and then 2 Lair of Darkness or 3 Lair of Darkness. It's up to you on the ratio and how you run it, but I'm still sticking with Monarchs and how prideful I am of them, because I'm running more Monarchs than I am anything, so I need the Monarch kind of cards in the deck to actually combo off even better. So Tenacity of the Monarchs, revealing 1 monster from your hand, 2400 attack and 1000 defense, or 2800, and then adding 1 Monarch spell trap card from your deck to your hand. It's a fantastic card, can't go wrong. Once it's in the graveyard you can combo off even more with Prime Monarch. I also run 2 March of the Monarchs, so tribute summon monsters you control cannot be targeted by or destroyed by card effects. Again, lately I cry every time because anytime I play cards like this, people just send cards, you're not tributing your cards, they're not actually destroying it. So March of the Monarchs isn't that good, but the word target also is changing these days and people are sending and it's not the same. It's up to you if you want to run more than 1 Allure of Darkness, but I do not trust myself because when I play specifically, whenever I play 2 Allure of Darkness, I end up banishing my whole entire hand, but that's just for me. I play the 1 Foolish Burial Good, secret rare version, not the common one that you get in the new Lair of Darkness. You can send a spell trap card from your deck to the graveyard. Again, the Prime Monarch is perfect for this, whilst you have other Monarch spell trap cards in the graveyard, or Pantheism, just mail it to the graveyard, combo off and get your domain out straight away. I play the 1 for 1 because that is a limited card, so you can send 1 monster, so I do recommend sending 1. So basically if you brick, you could send Ra Sphere mode from your hand to the graveyard and then actually special summon from there, and then this also combos off with Foolish Burial, because if it's not in your hand you can actually mill, Ra Sphere mode to the graveyard, basically. You have Monster Reborn. Fantastic card, everyone knows what it does. If you don't know what it does by now, you were never playing in 2002. I have Monarch Stormforth right here. Like I said, you could take this card out of your deck when you're playing Lair of Darkness, but you don't actually need to. I mean, it's still a good card regardless. There's the one Pantheism of the Monarchs for your spells. Last but not least, I run Card Advance still. For a common, it's actually quite pricey. Like in Britain, it's still like £8 to £10 card. It is a very good card because you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck, place them in any order, and then you can actually tribute summon one monster in addition to your normal summoner set. I think it's a very, very good card, and I don't think many people are aware of the cards. So there's Card of Advance. Running on to the trap cards, I play the 3 Prime Monarchs. There's the card you always want to see in your graveyard, unless you're playing it on the field with Karaz the Light Monarch. So Karaz the Light Monarch I will go into with the side deck in case you would like to play it. I don't run many traps, it's enough though. There's 2 Monarchs Erupt. Monarchs Erupt, hands down, one of the greatest meta cards in the game right now, I believe. And then last but not least, I run 3 out of 4 of the Solemn Brigade right now. 1 Solemn Warning, 2 Solemn Strikes. I'm not playing Solemn Scolding or Judgment or anything like that. I just want to run these 3 cards because why the hell not? Your side deck is actually whatever you want it to be, but whereas the new Lair of Darkness is out, I mean, it's up to you what you play. You can mix and match as much as you want, but these are just ideas for cards that you want to play in a deck. Seeing as they're all dark attributes, it actually combos off very nicely, especially with Fiends. There's a lot of cards in the new Lair of Darkness deck that actually explain why it's so good to actually have good synergy with Monarchs, which is, I think, that's what Konami are getting at. That's what I feel like they're getting at. And a lot of people are playing Infernoid with Lair of Darkness, and I think that's actually a very, very good idea. But you have Lilith, Lady of Lament. I also recommend Arima, and you can pause this video just to have a look, but Arima actually brings you out Lair of Darkness field spell. I wish Monarchs had that. You know, if you actually discard a Monarch, let's say you discarded Erebus from your hand, you can actually bring out a Domain of the True Monarchs, but again, we have enough cards to actually bring Monarch cards to our hands, so it doesn't really matter. Diablos, the King of the Abyss, I actually was playing this at one point, but again, it's completely up to you how you want to play it. There's the second Vanity's Fiend, if you wish to play it. I don't recommend it as much now. One Effect Veiler. There's Karaz the Light Monarch. So Karaz the Light Monarch, basically, like I said, with the combos that you play with Prime Monarch. So if you set 2 Prime Monarchs face down, bring out Karaz the Light Monarch, destroy your own 2 cards, and you draw 1 card for each, so that's your draw power. Here's the Lair of Darkness. Lair of Darkness, you know, it's completely up to you. We can go through it together. All face-up monsters on the field become dark. The more I read this card, it actually becomes better the more that I think about it, rather than Domain of the True Monarchs. It really does vary what you want to play the deck for. I mean, you are actually using this card as a Monarch Stormfall for your opponent's monsters because they all become Dark-type monsters. It is a good card. I've only left it here for the time being until I work out the synergy between Monarch's balance with the Lair of Darkness. Next up, I'm playing Sinister Yachiru. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, I'm probably not. But this is just more for Caius the Mega Monarch rather than any other card. Unless you are playing Morphine type monsters from the Lair of Darkness into the Monarch deck that I've actually made, then, you know, it's just a good idea. Like I said, the whole deck is just an idea for, you know, something that you've actually just come up with, and you've had a thought that I have not thought of right now, and you're thinking to yourself, actually, he's got a good idea, he's onto something here. Hopefully I can give him a comment in the comment section to make this video 100 times better than it already is, and hopefully I can bring out another deck after my budget deck profile of Lair of Darkness, showing you what I've learned from your guys' comments in the comment section. Because I'm not the best player in Yu-Gi-Oh, let's face it. I haven't won anything. I've came 3rd in my locals, and that's the best I'm ever going to come, but I just enjoy playing, and that's it. Grinning Grey Virus, tribute 1 dark monster with 3000 or less attack. Great if you're tributing Erebus, because once he goes to the graveyard, you get this card's effect. You can pause this card at the video. If you pause this card, oh my god, that is not even English. But you can actually pause the video and have a look, because Erebus in the graveyard actually has the effect of actually discarding 1 Monarch spell trap card to add Erebus back to your hand, and then obviously you've got another Monarch in your hand to combo off with cards like Tenacity of the Monarchs, Domain of the True Monarchs, or if you do not want Domain on the field, then you play Lair of Darkness, and either way, you'll basically storm forth in your opponent's monsters to bring Erebus out. Green and Grey Virus, on the other hand, is just looking at your opponent's draws until their third turn, I believe, and destroying all monsters among them. Cards destroyed and sent to the graveyard by this card's effect cannot activate their own effects that same turn. Very, very good card. If you have any other ideas like I just suggested in this video, please leave me a like down below. Hit the subscribe button, ding on the notification bell, because that's the only way you're going to know if I have uploaded a video. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pet dog, because they will start barking at the screen like I always say, because the dogs don't like penguins for some reason. I have no idea. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next one. It will be my £30 budget deck profile for Lair of Darkness. See you guys in the next one. Peace.